Let's have them up here. It's Luisa and Danny. If y'all could come up. Yay! And we have, I don't know if you want to control that.
Sure.
Okay.
Oh,
So hey guys, welcome to Lifestyles.
is it on?
Check.
Hello, hello.
There you go.
Okay.
Yay, awesome. So thank you guys for coming and sharing your story with us. So, okay, so first, how did you find Lifestyles? It's always an interesting conversation,
All right.
right?
My name is Danny. It's my wife, Luisa. The way that I heard from Lifestyle was a friend of mine from church, Jerry Hamper. He was like, I was ready to, I'm a mechanic, by the way. And so I was already ready looking for a shop. I wanted to have my own business. And I was looking for a shop, and I had some money. And he's like, before you jump, I want to bring you over here and just take a listen to see what they have to say. It's like, all right, cool. So sure enough, I came, and I was blown away. I was like, wow. Especially when I heard from David, and he had some shops and stuff. And I was like, wow, I definitely going to switch the gears and go this path. So that's how we heard.
Awesome. So good friends, and they're in the room
Yes.
tonight. So that's awesome. And,
They're
you know,
passive.
to refer friends because it does so much positive in your life that you wanted to share
Oh,
it with
yes.
them.
I'm
So
grateful.
you were a mechanic forever, or
Yes, all my life I've
That's
been a
hard work.
mechanic. So yeah, it's hard work
hard
and
work?
it's backbreaking. So I'm
Right.
like, I do not want to do this, when I'm in my later years. So
And Luisa, what did you do?
She's a high-paid
I'm a
executive, it looks
homeschool.
like.
Homeschool mom. Hey,
estate
that's hard
investor
work.
now.
That's the hardest job out there, right?
Yeah.
Wow. So I could see how having cash flow would be a benefit in y'all's financial household. So that's
yeah.
awesome. Okay, so when you
How many kids do you have?
Yeah.
2 kids.
Are they here?
No, I invited them and they were like, we'll pass.
Yeah. They're not ready to be rich yet. That's okay.
Yeah.
Hey, trust me. When they start seeing that cash flow come in, they'll
Yeah.
change their mind. So awesome. Okay. So you took the joined up. Friends told you to join. Took the 2-day. Did y'all need convincing, like some people in the crowd, or were you like me, ready to go?
no, when I first came with Jerry, I was ready. I was like, let's just jump, let's do it. Of course, I had to talk to my wife about it.
Right.
I was like, I gotta get her in there. But once I brought her in and she I kind of showed her all the stuff, she was on board. So she had my back.
Supportive team. That's great. Okay, so you took the 2-day, you joined up, and then, okay, so how long from when you, I guess, upgraded to Challenge to when you contracted the first property?
I want to say maybe 4 months.
I think it was we first of all we did our 401k through Henry Novak, and so we were waiting on some of those funds to come in. Once they came in, then we upgraded, and then we were able to start looking for our first house. And I think it took like maybe 2 months of that.
Awesome,
But
okay.
yeah, it was pretty quick.
So you pulled all your money out of your 401k?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
So I gave it all to my wife.
There you go. Hey, smart man.
Give it all to your wife.
That's it.
And she stuck around.
And she stuck around.
Hey.
So, yeah.
Okay, nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so first property, let's look at some pictures. So that picture, it's like, well, you've kind of brightened up the photo. It doesn't look like you did a whole bunch. But then we look at this one, and it's like, whoa, that's down to the studs.
Yeah.
That's a
Right.
lot for a first property. Usually we see cosmetic, but so did you guys go in there with the hammer and break that through? And I mean, tell us about the rehab process and how was that?
So when we first heard about this property was through our real estate agent, Adrian Cosita, and she was really good. She called us. We're ready. I was like, hey, let's look for a property. She called us, but we were out of town at that time, and that was like on a Friday. And she goes, okay, well, I'm gonna have to let that one go. Monday we got back. She goes, hey, I have another property. I was like, okay, good. My wife's gonna go. She met up with my wife. They went to the property. I was at work, and she FaceTimed me, and she was like, hey, look at this property. I was like, perfect. I like it. So something like that, it didn't scare me. And the
Very
reason why,
supportive, right?
I mean, I'm used to, I would buy and sell cars, so I'm used
Okay.
to, it can be fixed. You know what I mean? Whatever it is, it can
You
be
have the
fixed.
vision,
I
right?
had the vision, right. So I've always wanted to know how to make, if you buy and sell cars, I wanted to put more zeros on that. And this gave me the
Hey, that makes
opportunity
sense, yeah.
to do that. So yes, I wasn't
Great.
afraid.
Okay, but you guys didn't pick up a hammer, right?
No,
Okay.
no, we didn't do any of that. That's through our GC.
So you hired
Yeah.
a GC. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. So that's a big difference. Beautiful. I mean, look at this picture, guys. This is a gorgeous house. I mean, I'm sure anyone in this room would feel proud to live in that property. That's a big thing about lifestyles, guys. We're not slumlords. I know I grew up in very rough household, very outdated. I was embarrassed to have kids over because of the, my 1970s style. My parents never changed. So as a lifestyle member, one thing we teach is best product, best price, something that we can be proud of. We're not going in these neighborhoods and making all this money and cheating people. We're providing them something to be proud of. And when I go to sleep at night, I'm like, you know what? My tenants in my houses are proud to show this off, and I think you guys can stay the same. And this property is out near Lackland Air Force Base, for those of you who know San Antonio. So it's in a great area of town, very busy. You have a lot of military over there. So how long did that whole rehab transformation take? Was it months and months and months of construction, or how did that go?
Maybe 4 months, I think.
Maybe 4 months.
But you did a full rehab?
We did do full rehab. The biggest thing was not the construction, but it was CPS, because it didn't have electricity.
Okay.
And so we'd have to get with our GC and be like, okay, well, CPS says that they cannot install the electricity until you chop down half of this tree, and then we would do that, and then CPS would be like, okay, no, you need to move this patio cover. And so that's kind of what dragged it a little bit, but
Okay.
the GC was pretty
Was
good
on top
point.
of it, yeah.
All right, man. Everybody online's wondering why Child Protective Services got involved.
Oh, CPS.
Anyone who's not in San Antonio doesn't get that, so you got to explain what's CPS.
Yeah, CPS is the electricity. They were trying to get the electricity
They
turned on.
weren't trying to take
so.
his kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you redid all the electrical, it sounds like, in the house?
Yes. So when
Upgraded some
we bought
things?
this house, somebody had already bought it and tried to renovate it, but the strike team shut it down. They weren't following the rules, and they weren't.
Basically, they were trying to be slumlords, what we teach you not to do.
Right.
So if you join, we'll give you the mentoring you need to go through this process if you've never done it before. And all purchases, I mean, this was a big rehab to take on as a first property. I know most members don't have that much courage, so I commend you guys for that. But let's look at the numbers. That's the important thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so purchase cost was $128,000, and ultimately it appraised for $190,000. So you spent $40,000 on all those renovations, making it nice and new and safe. Totaled up to be a little over $31,000 out of pocket. So what type of returns did that give you? You rented it out for $1,725, which is $20,000 a year. But the cash flow, that's the important part, right, guys? So that's the profit. After you pay your property taxes, your lender, your insurance, all that stuff, what do you pocket every month? $475. That was my car payment back in the day. So that is a really good cash flow. That is just over $5,000 a year. I mean, how many of us can go to our boss and say, hey, I want an extra $5,000 a year in my pocket? Not that you're paying, right, to IRS. Right. So that comes out to a cash-on-cash return of 18%, which is fantastic. And after everything, you've got $22,000 in equity. So that's only going to go up, right, as we see San Antonio has appreciated, I think, forever. I don't think there's very many years where we didn't see appreciation in this city alone, but that's amazing. Great work. Those numbers are fantastic. Also, one thing you were telling me is on your refinance, right? So when we purchase these properties, guys, we use something called a hard money loan, which enables us to roll a lot of that rehab cost into our loan. And you'll learn about that at the 2-day, but at your second refi, when you're going from hard money to conventional, they gave you a check, right?
Yes.
So she got money back.
They gave us $2,000 to refinance to a conventional loan.
Yeah, so her appraisal came in, y'all's appraisal came in higher than what you thought, a little bit, right? And so they were able to get money back at closing. So that's something that doesn't always happen, so that's a good thing. That means that it was appraised, you rehabbed it, very high standards for the neighborhood, and you had a lot of comparables in the area that justifies that price. So amazing work. That's awesome. Let me ask you about your leasing, because a lot of people are scared of that part. That's my favorite part. I love finding tenants, and I know we worked closely on that. You guys did it all on your own, right? No
Yes.
property managers.
Right.
Those of you who are out of state, you can choose to hire a leasing agent or a property management team if you want to. But these guys are local, so they did it on their own. So how long did that take to find a good tenant that qualified and met all of your criteria?
I want to say a week.
1 week?
And there was so much interest.
But
Like,
I
got
warned you
so
guys,
many calls.
remember?
Yes.
Don't say I didn't warn you. So
Yeah.
they put it on Zillow, and they followed everything. Like I said, they followed everything I taught them. Take a ton of pictures. Put your criteria up there, so you don't have people calling you who are not qualified. So put all the info. So you get qualified applicants. Of course, you probably still had a few crazies calling, and we talked about those. But you have to swift through those applications because everybody's going to want that gorgeous property, right? Everybody wants what you have, but 1 week. So you did the background check, checked the income, made sure they weren't purple Martians, right?
Yes.
And so that family's been good, paying rent on time. They're happy. So you did great, guys. Your first one.
Thank you.
I mean, that's
Yes.
amazing work. Congratulations. Yeah, give them a high. And then we asked you, I know you're still brand new. It's only your first property. One property, is it life-changing? Hey, for me it was. So we asked you, how has it changed your life so far? And you said providing a roadmap to financial goals on the path to passive income. And then we asked you, what's next? Are you guys going to keep buying or take a break? To the next slide, you told us you're going to keep buying single family.
Correct. We're going to keep buying a few more single families, and then eventually, long-term goals is eventually be a lead or investor, and
Okay.
obviously passive
Wonderful.
as well. So.
Well, you're on the path. You're doing everything on the step to do there. Lead investor, you'll hear that in a couple of the next presentations. But hey, guys, great work. You did wonderful, and so happy you could share that with everyone today. I think that's everything, but we want to see if there's anybody that has questions because they did such great work. There's
Wait,
anybody online?
before the questions,
Of course.
you got people you want to say thanks to, right?
Oh, yes, shout out.
Absolutely.
Can't miss out those, yeah.
Yes, I want to say thank you to every member that reached out and shared all their information. Everybody's so friendly and welcoming. So I'm so grateful for this group. And Jody, thank you so much for helping us through everything. She was holding our hand through everything, and so it was so great. But
I didn't pay her to say that, I promise.
Right.
Gift cards on my desk.
So we
okay?
did. Yeah, right. We did utilize our mentors. They're there for you guys. So we would ask questions for Jillian, Jody, and then Adrian Cosito was our realtor. So she helped us to buy our property. And then we also used our vendors, which was hard money, which was Bryce with Red Door, conventional with April, Gateway Mortgage. And then Devon, he helped us. Kellis Funding helped us to cash out refi on our property as well.
Oh, perfect, okay.
And then, of course, Henry Novak.
So you
with the
pulled out of,
40K.
so when they tell you guys, hey, where are you going to get the money from, right? You don't have the money. These guys got creative. They knew they had money somewhere and they tapped into it. Instead of saying, oh, I don't have the money, I'm done, I'm not buying real estate, I'm going to do this the rest of my life. Get into some assets. You may, in your personal home, you may have untapped equity that you could turn that into monthly cash flows. So great work, awesome use the vendor team. We're so happy for that, and wonderful, great job.
Cool.
So questions?
Now we're going to take questions. Yeah, you got a hand up in the back already. Yes, sir.
What subdivision is this house actually in, and what is the
I'll repeat
average
the question.
price of the house in that area?
Subdivision
He's
and
asking
price.
what subdivision in San Antonio is this in?
It's called Valley Heights, right outside Lackland Air Force Base. As the first street, as you come out the exit, it's the first street right there.
1970s construction
Yes.
about?
Yeah,
Okay.
it was 1960s.
1960s. Okay, and the other question,
Average price of the house is in
average price. So theirs appraised for 190. So
Yes.
I guess about 150 to 200 over there, maybe a
Right.
little higher, 225.
Yeah, about
Yeah, I would say under 250.
absolutely.
Got
Another
another question right here. Yes, sir.
When you put your house up for rent, did you look at the comps of what other rentals were going for? And do you say, well, since we've done ours so nice, did you push it up?
He's
Right.
asking, when you put your house for rent online, did you look at the comparables and say, oh, mine's better than all those and go really high? Or how did you fix that? How did you pick your price point of where you started?
Right. Well, you got to utilize your tools here. So we used our mentors, and we used our realtor agent is able to pull all those comps, and then you're able to find out based on your house square footage, bedrooms, and all that stuff. You're able to tell what rent is going for. So
So were you the highest or kind of close to it? Were there a few higher than yours?
I think we were a little high, but she had said you can rent it for like 15 up to 17.25, and then she had said, let's just go high and see how it goes.
See how it is, yeah.
And-
Test it for a week. A week
Yeah.
later, it was rented.
And there's just such
And the market
demand.
will speak to you guys. What I have found, if that house isn't rented in a few weeks, it either looks like crap or it's too expensive. One or the other. The market will tell you, right? But
Right.
that's a great question. We utilize comps and MLS quite a bit to help us derive that data.
But we absolutely had over 1,000 clicks on Marketplace. We had over 500 clicks on Zillow. So, I mean, there was a bunch of people that were just sharing and liking the photos. And so, yeah, we didn't have no
Hey, you
issues
took
with
some
that.
great photos.
Yeah.
You did.
We learned from
yeah.
you.
So they put their house on Zillow, and Facebook, and he's
Right.
saying over 1,000 clicks. Basically, over 1,000 people viewed that ad. So, you know, we have what everybody wants. It's very hard for this to not go right, right?
Best
So,
product, best price.
there you go.
Absolutely.
Wonderful.
All right, we got 2 questions online.
All right.
One here is, do most areas, from Kelly, do most areas around military bases manage well? And you've got one. How is it managing?
It's really good. Actually, we got some good tenants as a family that's, you know, the cash is there. So we haven't had any issues with them. So, yeah, it's pretty good.
Great.
How about you, Jody? Have you
I've got a few in
around the military
Heritage.
base?
If anybody's, I also have one in Converse. I've got a couple in Heritage. Some military tenants. They run just like my other ones. Great. You know, I like being military based because you can rent to military folks and tenants, and they tend to be great. So I've never had a problem. Good question.
They make their bed every
When
morning.
was the
right?
house bought? Sorry, they make the bed. Yes.
Yeah, when did you buy it?
I bought it this year in April, and then it took about almost 4 months to rehab. So we're already done in August, and then we're looking for a tenant,
So they purchased April of 2022.
right, of this year.
All right, so you rented this out in August.
Yeah.
Right.
Was it before or after school started?
That's what I.
Oh,
we
yes.
talked about this.
Right before.
Right before?
Right before.
Okay, because you mentioned it's a family.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, they were looking at the schools. They were nearby. They were able to put their kids in that school and everything.
So they were
Okay.
able to register schools
Right.
and start at the first day of school right before school started.
Right.
So,
Perfect.
Exactly.
perfect.
Good deal.
Great.
All right, any other questions in the room? Yes, Michelle?
Do you like your GC and would you recommend it?
Absolutely. So our GC.
Question was, did you like your GC and would you recommend them?
Okay.
Sorry, people online can't hear.
That's okay. We absolutely love our contractor because he was able to answer all our questions, and he was not a lifestyles vendor, but it was referred through by one of the members, and so absolutely he's doing good, and he's very reasonable. Yeah.
Perfect.
Oh yeah, absolutely. His name was Alonso Perez with Perez Construction. Absolutely.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Good deal.
Cool.
Well, let's give him a hand.